Hi folks, it's Andy. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. So here we are for another episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In this series of videos, I take videos that you wonderful viewers have sent in to me, give you some feedback on them, and hopefully everybody learns something in the process. So we've got 2 submissions today. We'll get to them in just a moment. First off, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all that sort of thing. Shop at KendoStar because it's the best Kendo shop in the entire galaxy. Of course, I'd say that because I own the place, but KendoStar.com is the best place to buy all of your Kendo equipment. It supports the channel. You get the best equipment in the world. You get the best service ever. And as I say, of course I'd say that. Of course I'd tell you that. But everyone agrees. All right. So anyone you ask would agree with me. I'm absolutely sure. So get to KendoStar.com. Now, before I click play on this first submission, I don't want any nasty comments. All right. Don't bother. Don't bother. All right. Don't need to. All right. I'll just delete it. And if you think you're better, send in a video and we'll have a look. Okay. So just don't bother doing that. Right. Thank you very much to everyone that sent videos. All right. These people have been brave enough to do that. So yeah. Right. So we've got 2 submissions. First one is a really interesting one. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into this. It is from somebody taking their 4th dan. The first video is an unsuccessful attempt, and the second video is a successful attempt at 4th dan. Now, what's really interesting is that they are 66 years old at time of filming, and they started Kendo at the age of 56. So whenever you've got that sort of, person that's saying, am I too old to start Kendo? Of course not. All right. So starting at 56, getting up to Yondan, absolutely fantastic achievement so far. Really want to encourage you to get up to 5th dan, 6th dan, 7th dan. All of these are achievable. Right. We are looking at the left competitor, grading candidate. Okay, slightly dark video. We've got a lot of backlighting, so let's see what we can see. Okay, so this candidate here. Okay. So I believe this is in France, where they do kirikaishi up to the grade of 5th dan. Okay, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on this failed attempt because we know you've got a successful attempt as well. But one thing I'd just say we need to be careful of on this kirikaishi is your strikes are not reaching the target. All right, can you see how I've stopped there and they're not quite reaching the target? All right, so that's the first thing I'd mention. Himikomi is good. Zanshin is good. Now for Jitsuki, good kamae. Okay, so I think so far your strikes are kind of responsive to the other person. I think this might be one of the reasons that you sort of failed. There's no sort of rhyme or reason for the attacks that you're deciding to make. Sort of when they move, you're sort of responding, or you're making attacks completely of your own volition. So you haven't made a successful strike so far. Okay. So he was able to get through your kamae there as well. I'm not saying, you know, you don't have to, this is fine when this happens, you know, it doesn't mean you have to react to everything, all right? But what we're looking at so far, there hasn't been a Yuko Datotsu. So this is why I think, you know, you're sort of struggling. The last door wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Probably not quite there though. Okay, good. Really nice Sonkyo, very good posture, very good kamae. I mean, what this shows to me, right, is I can understand. I've only watched the first Jitsugi so far, but I can understand why this first Jitsugi isn't a pass because, like I say, you didn't really make a Yuko Datotsu. But what I am looking at is somebody who is definitely capable of passing the exam, but on that particular Jitsugi didn't quite manage to get over the bar. From a technical point of view, the Kendo's there. Good semi, good semi. Okay, so again, we're struggling to find a valid strike here. You see what I mean? So, although there's a sort of, and a couple of strikes are happening here as well without any proper, it's not really a Kentai no Ichi, all right? There's a sort of little stamp there. There's sort of a hit out with the hands, but it's not like it's not unified. You know what I mean? So I think that's the main takeaway I've got here is, when this door is, again, the timing is good. The strike itself is just not quite there. It's not quite there. I know, like we talked at the beginning of this, that, as a senior kendoka, your kendo is obviously going to be dynamically different to somebody who's sort of in their teens or in their 20s. But that isn't, it is dynamically different, but it isn't something that we can just say, oh, it's because of your age or something like that, as to why your strikes perhaps lack tenuchi, for example. All right. Which is probably the case with this door. All right. So, good timing, but the strike itself is just a little bit, it's just not quite, it doesn't have the sort of impact that Tsuyosato Sae doesn't have the, really the Kentai no Ichi, to reach the criteria of the Yuko Datotsu. So, that's the end of the unsuccessful Shinsa. As I said, I can see already that you're very, very capable of passing this exam, but because you're unable to make the valid strike, that's probably why you were unable to achieve it on this particular occasion. And that's based on, I think, the rather than the technical ability so much, but the way in which you are selecting the strikes that you're going to make. It's either in response to the other person or just because you feel like you want to attack a specific waza. So let's see how you did with the successful one and see if that changed. Okay, so on this occasion, you're on the right-hand side. Okay, you're on the right-hand side. So let's have a look how you got on. So this is the successful one. So again, it begins with kirikaishi. Good. So the kirikaishi overall is very good, and it's better than the last one actually. Still, the strikes aren't all entirely quite reaching the opponent. It's obviously difficult when you're doing kirikaishi for the first time with somebody you've never done before. But look, overall, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this kirikaishi. It's fine. Oh, and then now you're going to receive the kirikaishi. We didn't see you receive it last time, I think. Good. Very good, very good. Yeah, your receiving's perfectly fine, isn't it? Your receiving's perfectly fine. Okay, so into the Jitsugi. Good kamae. Okay, good, almost there. It was a better one than last time though, because this time this came from a place of semi rather than reaction. Yeah, you took the initiative here. Your opponent reacted to you. Your swing's a little bit big. All right, so that's probably why it wasn't quite as successful as it could have been. You don't need to bring it all the way up here. Just the small swing is fine for the Jitsugi. Good, Semek. Good. So again, in contrast to the earlier grading, there's more use of semi in this exam. More examples of you taking the initiative. Pam. Even if the strike isn't perfectly successful, the way in which it's created is much better. I think your kamae is great as well. And that door strike as well, a little bit sharper than before, so good. There we go. See, that was a great men strike. Because again, semi, take initiative. Opponent can't really react to you, and you make the men strike. But like I said, you don't need to be bringing the shinai all the way over your head. You don't need to be doing that. That's one of the reasons you're struggling to make these strikes successful. These large swings of the shinai, they're really for the uchikomi and part of the kihon practice in the jitsugi, keiko, jigeiko, these sort of things. Then you need to be able to strike with a smaller swing of the shinai, but still have the correct tenuchi to reach the criteria of yuko datotsu. That's an important technical point that you have to be able to demonstrate, and definitely expect that for Godan. Good. So look, you know, in contrast to your previous video, so again here, good men, because you are initiating these strikes now. All right, you are initiating them, and that's you know, it's a good. This is like a kind of amen in a way, but because you initiated this is your Yuko Datotsu. Even though both of them sort of hit pretty much at the same time, the Yuko Datotsu is judged in your favor because you were the one that took the initiative, took the sen, and made the waza happen. So let's have a look at your second one. Fantastic, good Sonkyo. Good men straight off. Your opponent sort of rushes in, but immediately you're ready to strike. Very good use of the left foot. Control the distance, take sen, strike. Good, very good. So this is exactly the sort of thing you want to keep working on for your next one, for your fifth dan, all right? Just making sure that you're in control of the distance. When a waza happens like this, you're the one that begins the interaction, and you're able to make the strike happen. Now the thing is he hit your men first because his strike is much more economical than yours. All right, his swing. Yeah, see how you're still bringing the shinai, even though this is a much smaller strike than the previous ones. You see how on your partner's side, his kensen never comes backwards. It never comes past behind his hands, whereas yours, it comes behind your hands. So that is a point I want you to sort of work on towards fifth dan. All right, trying to keep the kensen forward. The minute you bring the kensen back, you know, you're taking the threat away from your partner. You're taking you're making the whole thing take longer, and you're exposing yourself for a strike. But the way in which these strikes are happening is what really matters. Okay, good kamae. good men. So this man, again, it comes from your initiation. Okay, he has to respond to you. So again, although you're sort of striking at pretty much the same time, yeah. The reason you're striking at the same time, now this is a slightly better swing, but it's still too big. If you're able to cut a couple of inches off that, like this much, off the sides of that swing, then this men is going to be much more clearly your men than his. Now, watching this in full speed, if this was a Shiai and there's a Shimpan, the good Shimpan would be able to award this men to you because you initiated the strike. All right, so we can see as the Shimpan, for example, who, and the Shinsein can see this as well, who is creating the opportunity for these strikes. Okay. Very good. So already, you know, we could, and this is the same thing. So I can definitely see already that there's a big difference between this and the unsuccessful attempt. You made several strikes that were definitely you called Atotsu. For your next exam, for your 5th dan, okay, I really want you to work on making the smaller strikes. It doesn't have to be tiny, yeah. But as much as possible, you don't want to remove the Kensen from the threat towards your opponent. All right, so you want to keep the Kensen forward as much as possible. And what that's going to mean is, you know, working on your tenuchi so that you can still get the impact that you would get from a larger swing, but whilst using a smaller swing of the shinai. And it's about how you're going to use your right hand and left hand together, the right hand to push, the left hand to pull at the moment of impact. It's definitely something that will help you, and I think it's, you know, in senior kendoka, it's one of the things that is definitely worth focusing on, because it's not like other things like strengthening your lower body to make the long fumikomi or something like that can be difficult as you get older. But like the tenuichi is something that you'll see senseis in their 80s and 90s that still have very, very sharp, crisp tenuichi, because it's a technique thing rather than a muscular thing. So I think if you work on that, I think that, you know, you're obviously starting to understand the concept of how seme works, how you can create these opportunities. Keep practicing that. See if you can sharpen up that tenuichi so you can make those smaller strikes. And I'd like to see some kotewata, but that's going to come with better tenuichi. Okay, better tenuichi, and you'll find that door strike gets better too. Okay, so yeah. Congratulations, fantastic grading. Really, really well done. Absolutely inspirational as well. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you get your 5th dan. Okay, so let's have a look at the next submission. This is a great one as well. This is a submission from a viewer who submitted a video to us just about a year ago. So it's great to have a look. I'm going to read out the notes that they sent along with it, so we can all understand the context, and then we'll have a look. Okay, so we wanted to celebrate the idea of coming so far in a single year, as well as have a good benchmark for our progress at the stage in our kendo journey. Since that video, I've passed Ikkyu and Shodan. My friend has passed Nikkyu and Ikkyu. I'm planning to test for Nidan in August, and my friend will be testing for Shodan in about a month. Any feedback you can give is always appreciated, but we had some personal notes to preface. Okay, so my notes are, this is the person who sent it. I'm the taller kendoka with long hair. Put most of my focus into my posture to try and get away from that S-shape kamae. So we talked about S-shape kamae, right? I think I've been somewhat successful. I'm still working on how to engage my back leg whilst in jigeko. Where I think I've failed to put enough attention is my hasse, that's the shouting. I still tend to trail off, and I've realized I do it in my suburi practice. So that has become a point of focus for me. I struggle with losing my voice after doing suburi multiple times a week. I also do some ice hockey coaching, and I'm yelling quite a bit to be heard. Yeah, fair enough. I practice so practicing hasse is difficult for me, but I feel like I may be missing a better way I know it's supposed to come from deeper, but I don't really know what that should feel like. Should I take voice lessons? Only kind of joking. I don't think you need to take voice lessons. It'll come with experience, all right? Don't worry too much, all right? It's only been a year. And like the way you shout or you vocalize in Kendo, it changes as you gain experience. The way I'm doing the hase now isn't the same as I was even a year ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Okay, so it does change. For your friend, but I initially struggled with not turning my heel, and likewise my hips for a while. It really struck hard when I went to my first shinsai and ended up with blisters all over the bottom of my feet, just like you said happened. And initially was testing for IQ, but given my disjointed kentai no ichi, I was instead awarded Nikyu. Okay. I admit this did bruise my ego, but after a little time of self-reflection, I too agreed with the decision. And rather than dwell on it, I used it as motivation to focus on improving. Fantastic. Good job. Good job. I passed IQ a few months later. Good. Without a single blister. Good. And I'm now waiting for the earliest opportunity to test Shodan this year. If you have time to review it and you feel it'd be valuable for us to look at us again after only a year later, I would appreciate it. I understand if others haven't had the chance to be reviewed. No, that's fine. I'm really happy to look at it. I'm really great. Really pleased to see how you get on. So the person who submitted is on the left and your friend is on the right. We looked at both of you last year. So on the left, you're going for Nidan this year. And on the right, you're going for Shodan in like a month or so. So let's have a look. Right, first, it's a really minor one. Right. You see when you do the bow here, your eyes stay on the opponent, but your face doesn't have to stay facing him. All right, so your chin shouldn't lift, or you see this. It's this way, okay? So the ago of your men should stay in the place it would be in kamae when you do dei. All right, so you keep your eyes on them, but you don't keep your face towards them. Does that make sense? And your taito is too low. Needs to be a bit higher, just underneath your door. Okay, this is correct. Good sonkyo. Oh wow, your kamae is massively improved. Fantastic, both of you. Excellent. Very, very good. Good. I think I went and looked at the video last year. I think your interaction started in exactly the same way. Chap on the right did kote, chap on the left didn't, man. But good. Very good. Your men himo, there's a gap between them. All right, you need to sort that out for your shinsai. All right, people on the grading panels, their eyes are like hawks. You see, I went to that immediately. Okay, but look how much better your kamae is. It's so much better. It really, really is. So well done on that. Before it was this sort of S shape. Now it's not really that at all. As well here, fantastic, really good kamae. Good. Now for your shodan here, look, this is fine. Kentai no ichi is good. But I don't want you to lose there's two things on this, right? I don't want you to lose your attention from your opponent, all right? See how you've gone right past in your sort of your focus. Your opponent is totally gone, not just from your sight, but from your kind of awareness. Yeah, so you've got to keep your awareness towards them. Second, after striking, it's normal for the hands to come up a bit, but you want to try and keep your fists in front of you. Don't let them come behind your head or this way, okay? Very good. Good kamae. So let's just watch that one again. These are good strikes here. So this is a kote kaishimen, which is a really well seen waza, but this side came for kote men and made this brilliant kote men strike. But that's fine. That's fine. All right. And the kaishimen hits there as well. That's okay. But the zanshin and the kime, the bit that kind of makes it kind of carries the dato to the strike from the point of impact to the zanshin, the bit that carries it in between. It's called kime. That's kind of lacking. Do you see what I mean? Kind of just you know, it's good on this side though. Okay, so be careful here. Don't make strikes that don't have the Fumikomi. See, this is a good chance for Ojiwaza, but the footwork is kind of not right. Okay. And again, for this side, just that attention. This is Kote strike, right? On this side, right? You don't want to go past them like this after hitting Kote, all right? After hitting Kote, go straight forward and not, I wouldn't go as far as say tai atari, but come as in like you were going to do the tsubazeri. Get close up to them, but you don't want to go past them and you don't want to turn away from them like this, okay? Okay, let's just forget that bit happened, okay? So again, let's have a look. I'm on the left side here. It's not really Fumikomi, is it? Okay, so it's just kind of a sort of thing. So you need a little bit more Kiken Tai no Ichi on that side. Let's just look on the right hand side. Good. That's good. Good. Nidan waza. I don't think you're going to struggle with Shodan. Absolutely not. Nidan, you've got until August, so I really want you to focus on making sure that all of your strikes happen with Kiken Tai no Ichi, okay? Kiken Tai no Ichi. And that usually means sort of properly using your left leg. So this is good. This is good, right? This is a good strike. This is all good, all brilliant, great strike. Look at that, fantastic. Well, then it kind of just stops. So again, we're missing that Kime and Zanshin. All right, that's going to stop you getting Nidan. All right, that's going to stop you getting Nidan. So just bear that in mind. Okay, you need to make sure that these strikes are complete. Yeah, they have a beginning, seme, sen. Now they're quite advanced concepts. All right, to be honest, not really looking at until sort of 4th dan, 5th dan, 6th dan, but still, all right, they have a beginning, kamae, then middle, strike, Kiken Tai no Ichi, and then finish, Kime, Zanshin, kamae, okay? So what will help you with this is focusing a little bit on making sure your left foot comes up a little bit sooner. It's a little bit slow, so that's why your lower body is sort of left behind on your strikes. Yeah, sort of left behind and you're sort of leaning forward a bit. When you leap forward, don't think of it as 1, 2. Of course, we go right then left, but try to send them together. Try to send them together so that your body can go in unison, all right, with your strike. But yeah, and we need more voice. I get that's something you're working on. That's fine. Good. So, yeah, okay. So I'm really looking at this sort of Kime, all right? It's not quite right. You sort of, because you're sort of hitting, getting there, returning to kamae straight away. It's a little bit too soon. You know, you need to separate first, then kamae, all right? Rather than sort of this sort of way. It's a little bit, it looks like you're sort of giving up on the strike. So I really do think it is that sort of Kime Zanshin type thing. It's hard for me to convey over video. Okay. There is a massive improvement though. There's a massive in both of you since last year. That was a good kaishido, very good kaishido. It was a good attempt at men. It was a good attempt at men. But a great Kaishido. It's good. See, you're making fantastic strikes, all right? So your strikes, when you're going for your Nidan, your strikes are great. They really are fantastic. And you've improved an awful lot. But they are just missing that final sort of icing on the cake. Do you know what I mean? It's really needed to really call it a proper Yuko Datotsu. It's hard for me to convey on video. Try and research it a little bit though. Try and watch how the higher graded Kendoka are completing the waza. Yeah, taking the waza from the point of strike to the point of the end. This is a bit better, but I don't want you to be turning your backs on each other all the time. So it's not quite that either. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for me to just explain as well. If I could demonstrate, I would, but it's a bit hard. Let me see if I can get some footage so I can demonstrate for you, and then we can wrap this up. Okay, so this is a short clip from the an old video from the Kendo show. It's like 5 years old now. I could probably do with updating it a little bit, to be honest. There's a few bits in it that I'd like to sort of improve on, but this clip will definitely sort of give you a little bit of an insight of what I'm talking about, right? So what I'm talking about is that point between the strike and the end of the technique. So let's just look at a men's strike first, okay? Okay, so obviously this is just a basic Kihon. In Jigeko this doesn't happen so much, but what I'm talking about here is, okay, after striking, keep my intention towards my opponent. You see how as soon as I get to the opponent here, I use my footwork to make sure that I keep them in my sights and my intention. This is when I'm striking men, all right? Then I get my distance properly using fast footwork. I get my distance and then I regain my kamae here. Okay, and it's a cohesive, complete waza. Whereas in your video, you're starting to regain the kamae here. So it's like cut off halfway through. You see what I mean? So I'd like it to be just that little bit more of that kime. Now talking about kote as well, there's kote example in this too. So the kote strike, when I said about not cutting, running past them after you hit kote, ideally after hitting kote, you want to end in this sort of position, okay? Here, okay, keeping your focus and attention towards them, okay? And as we're on the subject, we'll look at how you want to finish a door strike as well. Door strike requires a momentary, break in eye contact, but my intention, my focus, concentration is still towards my partner, and I'll turn around immediately as soon as I have the distance to make the kamae, all right? So it's that sort of kime, that sort of link between the strike and the zanshin that I want you to sort of focus on a little bit as well. And I think you'll absolutely be fine for your Nidan and for your Shodan as well. The other person doing Shodan, no problem. I think you'll be fine. Just remember just to keep your focus towards your partner. And there we are. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sending those videos in, everybody that did. If you'd like to send in a video for us to, or for me to sort of give feedback on, just send it. What you need to do, you want to put it up to YouTube, set it to unlisted, and then send me the link by email, mail@kendostar.com. I don't get to do them straight away. I do, it does take me a little while to do them, but I will do them. Nobody's sent me one yet that I haven't done, all right? So I do tend to do them all. So do send them if you have one that you would like me to give you some feedback on. And there we go. Like, share, subscribe, shop at KendoStar, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.